Welcome to FM Corner. I'm Danny Coons, Director of Relationship Management at WCE. Today, part 2 of our conversation of compassionate versus candid leadership, a tale of two leaders. For those that hadn't had the opportunity to listen from last week's episode, just a moment, Josh and I did a presentation for RIFMA at the conference this year in Washington, D.C. And we spoke about compassionate and candid leadership. Josh's style is compassionate. Mine is candid. We've spoken about that many times in one-on-ones. And we thought it would be a good presentation piece for RIFMA because many people struggle with this. They're really good at one, the other one not so much. But sometimes you kind of got to blend both to be successful in doing your job with your team because everybody typically doesn't fall in one category. So last week we talked about candid and we talked about compassionate leadership and kind of the way that it is and what goes on. Today we want to talk about a few minutes about the balance of it and where it interacts, which at the end of the day is important because whether you deal and you're compassionate in your leadership style or you're candid, at the end of the day, you're trying to help your people. And we'll talk about just a minute or two about those items that are important from both sides. First, you want to have balance. Both sides, whether you're compassionate or you're candid, you want to help people. You want to help the people on your team. If they make a mistake, if they have issues, if they're struggling in their job, you have to help them. That's your job. Both sides want to do that. They may go about it in different ways, but it's really important to both. You want to look for positives. Positives are two different ways. You know, on the compassionate side, it's people first and it's care and building the person up and not letting them get torn down or tear themselves down when they make a mistake. Candid is wanting to give a positive too. It's a different kind. It's more direct in what happened and what needs to be done. But then it's also speaking the positive of what your expectation is for that person as well. And you're doing this because you want to help them grow. And the mistake that's happened is maybe not like them. It's rare. You want to help them so that they get better and they become more successful. You want people to learn from their mistakes. How you deliver that message to them and how you get them to learn can be a variety of different ways. But at the end, whether you're doing it directly or you're having a conversation about them as a person and it makes them aware of the mistake that they made and clearly understand it and how they plan on dealing with it in the future, whichever way you can get it done, that matters. It's important from both sides. You want to seek results. Candid's more deal with it, figure it out, get it done, and not have it happen the next time. Compassion is more talking through it and again, getting the person to understand it. But at the end of the day, you're both trying to get better results as you move forward. So whether that's in a direct tone or a more people first care tone is okay. It probably depends on the individual. Which way do I think they will respond the best? Because that's very important today because many peoples you have on your team, lots of them respond in many different ways. One size doesn't fit all. It's kind of open and direct. You're talking to them, the tone, you have to be careful with tone. On the compassionate side, you can't let it come out as excuse-driven, so you still have to be direct in what needs to be done, but the tone and how you do that can be the key. You have to be open. You have to talk to people. Make sure they understand that your number one goal is to try to help them. You see something in them and you want them to be better. People that care about the person, sometimes they struggle in delivering that message when a person is not performing. People on the direct side and the candid side of that tend to do it sometimes too directly and it comes across as being mean. You don't want either one of those. What you want is to talk and to offer assistance and to explain the impact that what you're sitting and talking about has on your business. That's the key. Here's what happened. Here's what it does for our business. I need your help as we move forward for this not to happen again. Maybe it'll happen again. Everybody makes mistakes. It's usually not mistakes. Sometimes people just don't do something that they typically would do, and it caused an issue. There's a reason you have a checklist. There's a reason you make a final phone call to check on something, whatever that may be. It's usually not just an honest mistake. They put in the wrong number. It's, I didn't follow up, or I didn't this. You want them to talk about that, so they're telling you what they did wrong, and you can coach them up. That's what you're looking for. The success of whether you're a compassionate leader or a candid leader lies in the balance. Simple leadership. The checklist for both sides, depending on whichever you are, doesn't matter. Say what you mean. Don't talk around stuff. Tell them, hey, we made a mistake. It's going to cost us some money. That isn't good. Let's talk through it. And just be honest, but say what you mean. Seek first to understand. We spoke about that. Let them talk. And then as you understand what it is that they're talking about and so on, when they're done, then it's your turn to speak, not in the middle of what they're trying to tell you. Don't assume. Ask the question. Always ask the question. Question gives you information and insight, which will help you in your response to the team member that you're trying to coach up. Over-communicate. Talk a lot. If you don't feel that your one-on-one with that particular person went the way that it should, do some follow-up. Do a check-in, however you need to do that. If you don't get a good read from your person that you're speaking to that's right, follow up. Keep communicating. Keep them talking. Maybe there's something they didn't tell you that maybe they will. There's information you don't have. Be direct. You can be direct in 2 or 3 different ways, but address the issue. Don't talk around the issue. At some point, you have to address it. However you choose to do that can be in a very compassionate way because you're trying to build them up, or a more direct way because you're wanting to make sure they understand what happened, and then you can speak to what you can do moving forward. Either way. A mind tone, how do you say things? How do you phrase things? What should you not say? Be careful of that. Avoiding you statements. You messed up. Probably isn't the way to go about it. We had an issue today. Let's work together to get it fixed. Is a little bit better. So avoid the term you, because people are taking that directly. Or you were saying you did this or you did that. I've been guilty of that. And it's not that person. So you're not even right in what you're saying. Listen attentively. Listen to the person. Figure it out. That's why you're in the role you are in leadership. But this checklist applies to either side. Because at the end of the day, each style needs the other. There are times you have to move into the other style. It may be uncomfortable, but it has to be done. Caring is imperative. You have to care about what happens with the person. At the end of the day, it's about caring, and your mission, whether you are the compassionate leader or you're the candid leader, your mission is to succeed. That's the goal. That's our episode for today. If you have an opportunity to see our presentation or it gets posted, please do. Thanks to all those that were in attendance. We truly appreciate everyone that came and look forward to talking to you again next week. Thank you.